Let's just hit start. Let's just get started and roll along and everything. Otherwise we will never get started. Let's lean over and get my pedal cam. Right. Waiting for this thing to finish loading. Oh, right. Oh yeah, I do have the light on, because it looks quite dark down in my pedal box. Pedal cam, would you kindly actually initiate? The app is running everything? Why are you not launching? Oh. Well, that's a reason. Because the scene was turned off. Well, that's a thing. I don't know why I turned that scene off. Oh yeah, right, I don't remember, because I did full body tracking last week. Right, yeah. Okay. Well then. We've just done... We haven't started ACC yet. We need this password for server. Hello. I'm still signed up for that event, so could you please not let that event hide itself? Thank you very much. So now we just need to launch ACC in SteamVR mode. Okay. So thank you, Panel Cam, for failing precisely when we were switching scenes. I appreciate you a lot. Oh, and my sound isn't coming out. Brilliant. Okay. Come on, come back. Now it's back. So, the camera's back. What? Oh yeah, I can deal with the sound in a sec. I'm on the server. British Rain Dance. There it is. And connects. White size optimum, yeah. Kinda looks like it. So let's actually get audio. Much better. Although this is sad. With 4 people. Yeah, I probably should have skipped streaming it, but I thought of like, do I want to participate in this event? Maybe. But then I haven't streamed in like a week, nearly. So I'm like, maybe just at least do something. For those few people that actually watch me. Because why not supply them with content? Like there's nothing stopping me technically. I should do it more. Oh, let's see. We can close down the brake ducts, at least with the boat. What I noticed when I ran out in the wet, we didn't need that much brake duct. Lanking. Can also probably slam down the right height a bit. And right bias is very forward, so let's just take that back. The ABS and TC are for some reason not maxed out. What is actually the fastest ECU map on this car? Because it came on this wet set per default at... Oh, hi there. Per default at 4. Which, I need to check the ACC document on... where is it? ACC ECU maps colored. Thank you very much. So here's the document. Well, let's find the Jag here. So we need to scroll down. Lambo Jag. Okay. 1 to 3 are dry, and number 1 is the fastest, very high fuel consumption, linear throttle. 2 is a bit slow with normal fuel consumption. 3 is a bit slower, less fuel consumption, linear throttle. So map 4 technically is just a progressive throttle curve, but it is using the 4 fat fuel setting. So it's just a bit more gradual throttle application, which well, say I think I will just put it at 1 for now. I think I don't need that, but like I need to keep that in mind. Go down on TC and go down on the ABS. Guess for good ideas. And switch cameras because... Oh, and I just noticed, I thought this car was right-hand drive perhaps. Because I haven't actually driven this car before. Oh yeah, right, I need to adjust my... Do I need to adjust my seating position? Oh, I think I do need to move it slightly back. Because I'm sitting a bit too close on the steering wheel. So let's just briefly do that. View settings. Distance slightly back. What is usually a good indication as I'm aligned with the shoulders of the person? My real life shoulders with the in-game shoulders. So. Yeah, I think this is alright now. I'm just not quite straight yet. This is pain, so I think this is now alright. Put limiter on, windscreen wiper, we need the rain light and racing light. So that should do the trick. It should do the trick. Let's see what happens. Jesus, the TC. TC is just I think... Okay, but it is also aquaplaning immediately. Damn, there's a lot of water here. You can feel the car swimming. Jesus! Oh my god! Did it switch scenes? Yeah, we're on the correct scene, okay. Yo! This thing is just swimming. Track is only declared wet, it's not flooded. But I'm honestly not sure we are that far flooded. Oh fuck. One thing that can be said for sure, this car in the wet, you can save it when it's going anywhere. But damn, the amount of TC cut it. how much the TC just got out of the slow speed corner. But we've noticed on the straights, this thing is swimming. So I think I will turn the TC down, actually. And just do right foot TC. Okay, welcome back. I've done my outlap. I'm sort of half alive, I guess. This thing is insane. But yeah, I mean, I saw your question last week at the end of the stream. I mean, it's this week actually. Whatever, it's nearly a week ago. About the controls. It's like, no, it doesn't work with even like first gen Oculus VR headsets. Those controllers, even though those headsets use some sort of base station, those are not the standard base station tag. That's why I'm saying that, like, you're basically starting from scratch. At which point it's not particularly worth it to... Like, you can technically, like, oh, I can buy an Index and then buy some second-hand base stations and Wi-Fi and something like that. It's like, sure you can, but it's also like, I don't think it's worth, like, the money saving, really, because you're probably paying nearly the same. How slow was I in comparison to everyone else? 6 seconds off the pace. I think those are conditions rather than the car. I think the conditions have gotten a lot worse since the beginning of the session. Nom 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 nom. Eating some cones here and there. But yeah, I think the conditions have gotten a lot worse since the start of the session. Maybe I actually try Fuel Map 4. Yeah, the difference between the Index and a full kit of Index and a HP Viewer G2, that definitely is something. Don't get me wrong, there's definitely a difference there, but like the difference in terms of buying, trying to get second-hand Vive vans that work, because this isn't. Because the first generation Vive vans do not work with second gen base stations. The Index works with first gen base stations and first gen. Like the thing is, things that are compatible with second gen are compatible with first gen, but things that are compatible with first gen are not necessarily compatible with second gen. So if you take the Vive vans and you take Vive vans from the okay. Maybe just the pedals. Yeah, I mean, I don't know on what kit you are. On what kit you are, sort of. In terms of, like, the pedals and stuff. Or wheelbase, so... Are you suffering from German internet or what? Or are you in the Ukraine? I shouldn't say that, probably the bots will not come for me and put this into the political category or something. Because I said the word. Ah, you don't even have a wheel right now. Too much wheel spin, but I mean the other car actually went by me, so I'm not fast. I'm not as slow as officially. That's not great. And also, what's noticeable is that we're about 2 psi off the target pressure, so I guess I will just pull over and just briefly adjust those. Because man, this thing is just. I'm just all going for dear life with this car right now. So, right, what about... So I may close up the front ducts one more click. But still, we probably need a lot of more pressure into the tires. Um, 28.6. Okay, so we might also need perhaps an attempt to get more grip on the rear axle. I think the car has a lot of steering lock in all honesty. Springs on the rear quite soft. We're running 1 ARB in the rear with 9 ARB in the front. So yeah. And we're running 8 wing on the car, so we have a lot of rear wing on the machine. Yep. Okay. Put this down. I still kind of like the where do we put the race logic display? We just strap it to the grills inside the car. The AC grill on the center dash. With like 2 zip ties. I mean, it works. But it's still kind of funny how it looks. Oh, fuck. And the, I don't know, the flag display. That one is probably just taped in with double-sided tape, taped down. They probably never ran such a flag display in the actual car. Oh fuck. Because the car is only technically a 2017 car. Oh wait, I think the oldest season in this game is not 2017, it's 2018. My bad. 2018, 2019 and 2020 are the 3 seasons in ACC. Fuck, brakes! I thought this was a Porsche. But no, it's not. God, I'm into the world of pain here with my car choice. The reason I've chosen the track is that like half an hour before the practice session started, I was like, wait a second, I'm still signed up with the Rex for this. I still hadn't picked my car yet. Jesus, this thing just wheel spins for like half an hour. It just does not want to put the power down. I mean, look at the Aston just pulling away right now. This is a Jag, as shown on the thumbnail. This is a Jag. And in the titles as well, it's a Jaguar, not an Aston. Whoa! Completely aquaplaned into that corner. There was absolutely no he just swam completely into the corner. That's insane. Should probably just take less throttle out of the corner. Thing is, you start applying the throttle and everything is fine, and then suddenly you start getting wheel spin. Thing is, you have to wait till you do the first gear shift out of these sharp corners to fully get on the throttle. And then down here you have already to find so much wheel spin just in a straight. It's a bit over braking. Maybe I should try using ACC. Just to see if there's a performance advantage from doing so. Or if it's better if I manually do it. Oh, I have a Porsche behind me now. You just wheel spin for first and second gear. Although this was a massive improvement on my lap time. But obviously in the wet conditions you can really not fight a Porsche. But the fact that this thing just keeps gathering itself up when it starts ripping completely sideways is insane. Like, you shouldn't be able to get a car away with like 180 degrees of counter steers. Like, you're long gone usually at that point when you do such saves. But it's so easy in these conditions to save this car. It's really fun to drive, even though I don't think it's gonna be anywhere competitive. Although I just scapped the Porsche, so... Oh, that's a bit wide, but that might actually be good. A lot of wheel spin to the line. A good WWE fight in the Jaguar. Like, Yeah, going down this section is definitely a fight. I think I can definitely brake for the old hairpin down here a bit later. Maybe I should try using higher gears. Maybe that might be a decent idea. Look at this shit. You shouldn't be able to get away with stuff like that. The car just straightens itself out in every situation. It's just nuts. Like, sure, I went off the road and everything, but like, every other car would just nose into the next wall that it can find. Oh, sorry, Porsche. I'm so sorry. I was trying to get out of the corner. Oh well, you also get wheel spin in third gear. It's just a question of how much speed do you have. Apparently the simple answer is not enough. That's so stable, I don't like it. Well, the thing is with the Porsche, in these conditions, you actually get a stable car. Like, it won't do shit like this, it will just go straight. Which is the great thing with Porsches in conditions like this. Porsche's an absolute weapon in the wet. Because you just have all the weight on the rear axle, so you will always have grip up there. It's just when you start going sideways in the Porsche, you dipped. That's the problem. Because this thing is definitely not stable, it's trying to murder me at every turn. I will say this car, as I said repeatedly now, it seems to just want to go straight. Eventually. It's like, it wants to snap oversteer, but it will always easily straighten out. Like, it doesn't want to, like, it's oversteers, but it's, once you counter steer, it doesn't want to snap the other direction. Which is usually a problem that you get, but this car doesn't seem to really want to do that. Apparently missed the memo for that. Let's try high TC. It's gonna be more boring, but... Okay. In the high-speed section, high TC is definitely like the way to go. Because through these kinks, the car's a lot more stable now. With high TC, because the TC just cuts in and stabilizes the car there. Yeah, unfortunately for the entertainment factor, it seems high TC is, despite how much cutting this car needs to do, a lot quicker. Ah, I got aquaplaned over the curbing there. Oh, he's alive already. It's like... Glorious. It's like, yeah, the Porsche is, I wouldn't say it's that alive, the Porsche. The Porsche is actually very stable and stuff. The Porsche is stable till it isn't, and then you die. I've repeated this Like, Porsche is a brat. Or you might also call it a tsundere. Lovingly, caringly, stable, till it isn't. And this is just a wild ride. This machine. Oh, come on. I mean, I'm not the slowest. It's unfortunate how few people have decided to sign up for this. Because we have only like a grid of like 7 people. 5. Like, somebody's complaining it's impossible to drive. It's like, come on, dude, I'm driving this car. Was driving at a low TC and that's... You have no argument to be made that it's impossible to drive. Although we definitely aren't particularly far off flooded conditions. Okay. Out of these hairpins, the TC is just... Yeah, the TC really eats your time when you're coming out of these sharp corners. That's where you lose all the time. Feel like power cut. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. It really cuts off. That's why I actually turned it down initially, because it was cutting. I don't think so. Although my rear tires on the edge were quite cold, but as discussed in the like pro drivers chat after the Hungaroring race, that like max cambers is like kind of still the is kind of in the wet with 1.8 really well working, so I don't know. Might be something to that still. What we will do is also lower the rear right height. The car has a lot of like rear wing. I think I'm gonna max out the rear wing, honestly. Because we're dealing with a lot of oversteer through the high speed stuff. That's where the car really struggles. That's where I need a lot of TC to get it to stop spinning. The hairpins are fine. Like I can modulate the throttle through there, and it's definitely quicker of getting a bit of wheel spin there. But I might just play throughout the lap with the TC and ABS settings, and get it to work that way. Conditions are pretty similar. I think I'll just slightly bump the pressures up. Maybe take a bit of camber also out of the front tires. Okay, I think I have all the changes that I need to my wet set. Ignition, starter. Rain lights, windscreen wiper on stage 2, because anything else is probably just a waste of time. Right. Oh, I do have an TC and ABS readout on the dash. What would it be actually with 0 TC? Whoa. Okay. 0 TC maybe is a bit over the top. Oh god. 0 TC is I think a bit but too much. 0 TC is just a bit too crazy. And do we have our inflated boat somewhere in here? We have an AM radio for sure there. But I don't see any life rafts or any other equipment that matter inside here. Yeah, anyone see something? Zero. Okay, a bit of TC is actually needed to get out of these corners. Fuck. Because I wanted to try out how I can avoid the most of the cuts. Okay, now let's use actually sensible numbers. Okay, we still got sideways there, which is not what's supposed to happen. Also, I'm starting to deal with actual understeer in the set, so I think this setup changes have given me understeer, but none of the stability from oversteer. So I'm just mid-corner understeering, and then the corner exits, the thing just wants to still die. And drive in reverse. I need adjustable gear ratios for that. So I can lengthen my reverse gear to do that. Right, turn the TC down for the hairpins. Ah, brakes. Also, we're still on high fuel, so I had to slow down a lot there just to get around the corner because of how much understeer there was. Fourth gear. Down seconds. Oh god. But yeah, I mean, it seems TC7 for burst of the lap works really well. But I think I might reverse my setup decisions. Oh yeah. Oh, that wasn't good to exit there. Because I was still playing with the TC around. And then I overshoot this corner. Short shifting, yeah, that was a decent exit. Still 3 seconds off the pace. rain maps for the engine. I'm using... I earlier talked about this, the map... The car on the default rain set comes actually with the engine map 4. And I looked up which engine map is which. And engine map 4 is the... With the Jag you get... Oh, I forgot to switch to TC. With engine map 1, as with all cars besides the Porsche, you get maximum power. So, you get maximum fuel consumption, maximum power. But with the Jag, your first rain map is rain map 4, which also uses all power but has a progressive throttle input. So I think it's functions similarly to the Porsche's map 6, which is also full qualifying fuel but with a progressive throttle input to make it a bit manageable, the throttle application. While map 1 is a linear throttle. Wide into the chicane. Oh, switched the wrong direction and then missed the corner here entirely. So there's that. Still had a fast exit though. But 8 all the time here. Yeah. Whoa! Curbs are really slippery. The outside curbs have to be avoided like the plague. They are really dangerous. Oh fuck.
Your lap time is invalidated. Please try to stay on the track.
Hello, Styrofoam. Jesus. It's better swap GT3 for hovercraft. Right. I want to actually undo some of the setup changes that I did. Because the car was starting to understeer a bit too much even for me. Yes, understeer. That's my problem. Not oversteer. Massive amounts of oversteer. It's understeer of all things. Right. I wasn't paying attention to my tire pressures, but it seems I might have actually gotten a bit higher on the front. Whatever. Okay, I think oh, we don't talk about that. Okay. That one went, yikes, to describe it like that. Race 1 I ran over someone, so I had actually half decent qualifying, nearly qualified into the top 10 with the car. It wasn't most of practice, the car was nowhere, the pace was just not there, but it seemed to have dried out slightly. And suddenly my car came alive and I could finally drive at pace. So the boat was quite competitive. Whoa. It didn't do that before. Let's say that for sure. It didn't do that before. It was quite competitive. And then it just... because it was double header, so race 1 went, I ran over someone, I got stuck into a train anyway, so I was just outside of the top 10, ended up finishing P15 due to the penalty. Race 2 on the other hand, that was very sad because I got a really good start, got by the Porsches, which were a fucking pain in the ass because I couldn't pass them in the first race. I was stuck on a Porsche sandwich in race 1, and man, race 2 just... second lap, through the kink, I got a snap oversteer into the wall and had to wait for the entire field to pass me. I wanted to fucking cry, it was just... no. That was too much. I think I still finished like P16 or something. So, my best finishes this season. Which is just sad. But the second time that I was able to show that I have quite a bit of pace. Oh yeah, I'm running TC2 still. Oh, I hadn't taken the fuel out, I'm an idiot. I'm still running the full fuel load. Not the full fuel load, I'm running half a fuel tank. What am I doing right now? Not paying attention. Let's just stay in the pits, honestly. I need to drive constantly out. I mean, it's a 45-minute race, I need to figure out how much fuel I actually need to finish it. Oh great, my fuel number is fucking balked. I guess I'm gonna drive out, do a one flyer to figure out what my fucking fuel number is. Just to figure out how much fuel I need. Yeah. I mean, this week is Sandboard, we did the race already there. Although the fact how much faster Peter was is quite frightening. Although we weren't in qualifying that far off the pace, we were like 0.3 of a second off Peter. Or actually Peter I think wasn't on pole, it was Bray who was on pole. Peter was quite a bit faster in the race then. But yeah, I think we have a decent setup for Sandford already now. I think we're quite well prepared for Sandford, so not too worried about that. On Monday I do have on the same time slot as this the Lamborghini Rex race. It's only Lamborghini Rexes around Barcelona. Why am I driving this Jag? Well, I had signed up for this event with the Rex just so I have a slot on the entry list. But I mean, as you can see, that wasn't completely unnecessary. And about half an hour before the event started, I noticed, like, wait a second, I hadn't picked the car yet. What car should I pick? Oh no, what car am I gonna pick? And I said, okay, I'm gonna pick the fucking Jag. Is it stupid? Yes, no questions to be asked. It is boneheaded stupid. But, I mean, does it matter really? No. I mean, I drove the Maserati for 4 hours around Barcelona. Granted, that was in dry conditions. But I definitely have a masochistic trait with my car choices. That's for sure. That's not particularly up to question. Ah, fuck! The brakes didn't work. I hate that. Oh, that was too early. But we're mainly here just to get a fuel number out of the game. 2.36. Okay, that's important. The rest, not important. 2.36, that's the important part.
Alright, there is some rain in this session, so watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake earlier.
You don't say. Right. Okay. Now let's do some math. We will the fastest car was lapping a 4. We probably need, because it's wet conditions. The conditions can very much quickly change. So let's calculate 38 plus 1. Okay, memory store 45 minutes divided by memory recall. Okay, 27.5 laps. Make out of that 28, 29, and then an extra lap. And that times 2.4. 72 liters. Okay. And I think just to be safe, I will take 80 liters. Because I don't think we can, can't refuel, so even if I would, like, mismanage my fuel, I have to just run out of fuel. Or fuel safe. I think the latter option is kind of, like, more attractive. Not gonna lie. Right, okay, conditions had slightly decreased, I guess. Okay. Okay then, I think that's all that I need. Right. So, let's grab some water. Let's check if we have a life raft on board, because last time I checked we didn't see anything. But doesn't seem like it. It's not raining down that hard, honestly. It's or is it actually raining down quite hard? Because I can't tell. Interesting vent piece that is in the back of the car. Right. So, I have a race with 5 people. We have an Audi that is slower than us. Granted, I think the Audi is probably suffering in these conditions as well. Rain light and... there's a car in front of us. Didn't even see that before. Right. I mean, we have the Audi behind us at least.
Go in single file.
And the goal is, let's see if anybody dies. Because I don't think pace-wise I can pass anything. Oh yeah, right, this car doesn't have the fuel tank right next to me, because usually most cars have the fuel tank right next to the driver. Oh yeah, also I need to figure out what TC setting to start at. I think 2 is probably... There's 3 cars. It's not 20 cars. There are 3 in front of me and I can see jack fucking shit. Look at this. But yeah. But I think the... Oh, I'm driving off the road right now while looking back at me. I think it's maybe the venting system of the fuel tank in the back. Or just a cover for the cabling system for the rear lights and stuff. Because behind that cover is also the rear rain light on this car. It's a nice little cute circular light that this car has. Why are you going so slow? You're not in your position, please pick up, because I'm falling behind my position. Probably soon go double fall. 3 TC? Yeah, that sounds also pretty sensible.
Stay in double file.
Okay, we're going left. And the thing is that I noticed that in Hungaroring, the formation lap seems to just have one pace. So in the wet conditions, it's pretty fast. Especially in these very wet conditions, it seems. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're definitely starting on first gear, I think. Guys, drive 70, please. How do I take TC3?
Green light, go, go, go.
Yeah, I did take TC3 and she definitely accelerated. I should have, however, very quickly switched up to TC7 to get down the hill. The Porsche is just going at this point. Unsurprisingly. Let me switch up the winds. Oh fuck, that was way too fast. However, it seems I just about got away with that cut. No cut warning, no nothing. Ah, forgot to switch my TC down. While I had gapped the guy, he's right back to me, so... Well, he's going straight. So we have a bit of clear behind us. At least for a moment. With its headlight mustache. It's like, yeah, in the endurance spec, the endurance. Honestly, this car has so few livery options. And all of them are kinda hideous, which is sad with the Jag. Ah no. Please, brakes, stop. It's just like Formula Drift. I mean, I'm honestly driving way more stable due to the higher TC settings for the high-speed corners especially. Slow speed, however, of the hairpins is just the wheel spin central. But you have to turn the TC down, because it otherwise cuts away all your power of those corners. But honestly, this is probably all that is in terms of the interesting part of the race. The rest of this race is just survive. Because I don't think we will touch the car in front, and well, the car behind might catch up, but we have to see. I'm struggling to make the chicane right now. It's odd. Maybe it's my brakes. Ah. These conditions just and this track do not give you much time in terms of responding to anything. Also, one of the reasons that I didn't actually go for like my boat that I usually go for is like because I have fairly recently actually driven the circuit with the boat, so I was like, meh, perhaps not. Perhaps for once not driving the boat. I usually leave settings like TC, ABS, brake bias across like multiple laps the same, I rarely adjust these things on a corner by corner basis. So when I have to do it, or engine map also. Like I oftentimes forget to change my engine map, especially when I do like fuel saving and stuff. And you drive prototypes and you have to like switch engine maps on the straights. Switch it down on the corners and stuff. So there's that. And I usually forget then in the heat of the moment and just end up driving with a low engine map down the straightaways before I realize. But yeah, you have to brake here in the middle of the circuit because there's no grip anywhere else. We're actually pulling away from the car behind. So we're actually running away from that guy, which that's, I guess, neat. Although it would have been perhaps nice to have a bit of a battle on our hands. But I mean, he seems to not be the quickest Professor Aston. I mean, all of these cars are probably a handful in these conditions. I think these are quite tricky conditions. It's just it masks it by the fact that I'm driving, and I'm driving a car that probably is just way too loose in general. I mean, for ACC, for the most part, don't even need to adjust the engine map, so that's... yeah, I just knocked out the tire barrier there. I mean, in ACC, you really don't need to adjust the... oh, wait. Brain! I wanted to press down, down, down to get my TC down, but kept pressing my shifter pedal instead. Oh, that's stupid. Just pressing with the wrong hand. But yeah, you for the most part in ACC don't even need to touch the engine map. It's like even wet conditions, you could just run the dry maximum power map and you will be fine. Like there's no point in running any other engine map because some sort of endurance you don't need to change it because, well, you're pitting anyway before you're out of fuel, so there's no point in saving fuel. It's just I'm having to do this when I drive an R-Factor because there you can link, for instance, by changing the engine map, which can make a massive difference. I don't know how people actually pull it off. To adjust things corner by corner is just like you just keep like, how do you pull that off to not forget that? There's so many things to pay attention to down straightaways, and you just forget it easily. Because I mean, there's people who run like brake bias based on every single corner on the track, and it's like, excuse me, please, what? I mean, it would be easier if I didn't have to like adjust 5 setting steps for my TC. You just have to like, did you check your drive ID? Well, it seems to be fine. It's set to 1. I know it's written right above my head. Check your drive ID. Although what could also help is if my TC was on my steering wheel, not on my game controller / button box. There it is. I have to reach for the thing and press it. Oh damn, that's like how much time we're bleeding there. Yeah, it might be hard to see actually for you guys, but like down there is a drive ID setting. That's where it is. It's hidden. But I think the only car where you can actually like see it in any capacity. That switch. Most cars is basically hidden. I'm not aware of any other car where you can see the switch to driver ID. Oh well. Is it just me or are the conditions getting worse? Why am I just getting unfocused? I mean, the fact that I constantly forget to switch my TC setting, well, that should probably point to unfocus. Honestly, it might make more sense to just switch up from... Nah, it's the same distance. You go to... up to 8, 9, 10, and then back to 1. Actually, back to 0, in fact. Back to 0, and then up to 1, 2. So you actually have one more click if you go the other direction. You can obviously go both directions to get to your destination. It's quite neat in ACC, but also means that if you want to ensure that you're on the maximum or minimum setting, you can basically flip yourself by accident into the other direction. Which, that definitely has some negative problems. Suspicious. I'm getting cold only by watching. It's like, yeah, the tires. I mean, the tire graph is obviously not optimized for wet tires, but like, damn, the wet tires are still cold, and we're running one brake duct blanking on both front and rears, and it is about what, I mean, it's actually easier for you guys to see, 18, 19 degrees. Yeah, that's track temp actually. The air temp is about 15 something. Because I do not have that actually in my overlays. I have to pull it out of the Yeah, it's 16 track. 16 track. 19. No, not 16 track. What the hell am I saying? It's 16 and 19 track. Ugh. Switch my TC up. And the guy behind me is actually running me down. So we might see actually a battle in these conditions. Which that's neat. It's not gonna be a full 45-minute boring race. Things are gonna happen here. Although this car is very fun to drive in these conditions. I can genuinely say that. It's a very alive but controllable car. It's definitely not fast, but hey, it's fun. Switched the wrong direction, but decided like fuck it and just rotated through to my 7. As I described earlier. Possible. I don't think it's the ideal way to going about it. Yep. No, yeah, that's actually the case. I go from... I rotate through the entire TC basically. Welcome to the Lichten Park. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, the gag was that like, oh yeah, rain Britain, British car. But like, I really hope that it doesn't rain this much in Britain all the time. Because god damn it, that's a lot of rain. Although, I mean, we're on a racetrack. On the road is probably fine, and the lush fields of grass are probably happy that they get some rain down. Although I think it's actually probably, if that's for multiple days in a row, you probably drown the grass. It's just gonna turn into a massive mud pit. One massive swamp. And then somebody told me the world's gonna blow me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. I think the car behind is faster, but he seems to from time to time just drop back. Again and again.
We're at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
I thought we were already past that. Oh yeah, right, it's 22 minutes.
Behind the car in front is 22.
I mean, yeah, it's 22 minutes out of 45-minute race, so we're already halfway. I mean, more than the 45 minutes of this race, I don't think I want to drive it. I think it's starting to get slightly stale. Man, the relative gaps are just absolutely wildly inconsistent, even within ACC. I think those displayed on the SimHub might actually be more accurate. I mean, those relative to the car in front, car behind, I think the actual gaps are probably just balked as well. I forgot to switch down again. The race leader's actually listed as behind me rather than in front of me. Although that is in part because the gaps are just that wildly inconsistent. Because I mean the gap is jumping between like 80 seconds and 40 seconds. Like it's not consistent at all. But yeah, the car behind is actually closing down, but he's on now on 2 seconds behind me. The joke sort of starts stopping when you can actually see the guy in the mirror, just faintly. Ah, fuck, the brakes didn't work. Brakes, please, Shub. I would appreciate to actually stop into corners. I'm not worrying about the car that is over 20 seconds ahead of me. I'm worrying about the car that is about 2 seconds behind me. At best. Seems the old hairpin might be his Achilles heel. Because I do have in my overlay an accurate display of the gap. Nah, mate, keep going. Yeah, it seems my brakes really like to have that motto. With most cars. I'm running 2 ABS on this machine. Could have perhaps tried if it worked better with different ABS settings. And honestly, for the most part, the brakes are working fine enough to stop this machine. It's just they sometimes do not, which is probably an indication that there's too much ABS. Or too little. Who knows, it could be both. Or neither. Nah, I need still the high TC out of the corner. Ah, and then it doesn't turn. Nah. Pay attention to the roads, don't look for gaps. As by the way, the car that just took T1 in front is the Audi that started last. We're in the process of lapping the Audi. That poor guy is nearly the entire field lapped him before this entire thing is over. Or the entire field will most likely lap him before it's over. I seem to be able to hold the gap relatively stable. Yeah. The Audi can be already a bitch in dry conditions to drive, but I didn't guess it would be that bad in wet conditions. I guess really odd oversteer mid-corner at times. So, in dry conditions, and I don't know what it will do in wet. To be fair, I think he might be actually a driver who isn't that experienced, so it's probably fine for him. He might be slightly questioning his decisions that led up to some guy lapping him with a Jag, but I'm pretty sure he had already also spun during his laps. He's not like stupidly slow. We're taking our time to catch him, but it's like he probably has also during this race spun a few times, so and the conditions are tough, to say the least. Although I should have probably not eaten my words because I'm nearly in his back. I nearly caught up to him. Ah. Pay attention. But yeah, I mean, if you're struggling to get around the circuit on dry conditions and then you thrust into wet racing, it's gonna be tough. And he seems to be doing a decent job at it, despite that. He might be not going particularly fast, but I don't know how good the Audi is in wet to begin with. Probably not that great. Although, I mean, it's probably better than this car. Thank you. Ah, too much CC. God damn it. And my Aston has started to finally catch up. We're at 10 minutes to go and the Aston is more than in viewing distance. I can't take... I'm taking this very relaxed, but I should focus. I'm not driving to the full potential I'm capable of. That's for sure. Oh no. No, 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 no. Fuck! Ah! No! For fuck's sakes! Ah! That's painful. 0 mistakes for 30 minutes. Did he wait for me or what? Why was he slow there specifically? Oh, he wants to pass me actually. I see. He is actually waiting for me. Man, you could have the position. Because I made the slip up here. I did not wait for you before. Classic me mistake, just stupid unnecessary errors. Yeah, he's not only willing to fight, he seems to want to actually pass me. He wasn't satisfied with just, okay, I'm gonna take the position and let you attempt to pass. No, he wanted to actually let me pass completely. So I'm gonna take that. He's under a second right now. Yeah, I was expecting at some point to get that. Hope it doesn't go like Sadbot where I constantly crash. Nah, it doesn't seem like I'm cursed with this guy. It just seems like I'm made a stupid error there. It's like I never ran wide there. Consistency is at premium here. Under 5 minutes to go. That's a bit too deep. This time around he's a lot closer than last lap. Tempted to do a race with the Jag. Oh god. I mean, I would like to perhaps try this car in dry conditions on some circuit, maybe one day. Although it has to be considered alongside the Rex in terms of performance. It's not quick. Or at least as far as I know. It might be half competitive around Monza. But I've heard oftentimes things that don't turn out particularly true, so... I know it's not particularly good around Paul Ricard, it seems. So... it seems to be fairly similar. I think I've driven it once, like out of the garage around Suzuka. So I drove like half a lap or something. And the cars has, similarly to these wet conditions, a lot of wheel spin out of slow speed corners. So it's fairly similar to the Nissan. It was kind of better around Monza. Yeah, that's probably why I think it's good around Monza. Wait a second, the leader's so close to us? I did not think that. Maybe try it around bar first. Yeah. Question is when the next fun event with stuff for where I can pick some random cars is. I mean, I'm doing the 2.4 hours around. What track is it? I think it's half fast. Oh no, he's gone. Is he still in front of the leader? Seems like it. He seems slow. Come on, bro, catch up. Get a final shot at this. Come on. I expect you to have at least enough fuel to have one more lap of at this. Oh, got a lot of understeer down here. $21.35. Why did you post the time right now? Because that's my local time. Oh god. Ah. I mean, I was expecting a send, but like... I need to also get around the chicane, somehow. Let's switch TC down. The Porsche was done with the race already. We were still racing to the line. Oh god. best result of the SGP for me. Man, I have one race. That's the second place finisher. Well, I have won races before. Hello, could I kindly, like... turn the garage. Replay. Save this briefly. Okay, let's see. What happened with my bubblegum car? Into the final chicane there. Yeah, I didn't particularly give him much room, but... I was turning already by the time that he got any overlap whatsoever. So... unfortunately, based on racing rules, that is your fault. And well... there isn't also much I can do. It's like, I'm trying to give you as much room as I can. Yeah, I mean, there's a bit more room, but it's like, it's given, because this is not much. You can't really make the corner that way. Also, for some reason, when I freeze the replay, the frame rate just goes into the absolute toilet. Like, look at this. It just goes to shit completely. But when it's running, everything is fine. Nothing wrong with the replay, but like, as soon as it stopped, boom. There wasn't much that I could do at that point. When do I loop it? It's not that lap. How you can there it is. Yeah, I had lost it all the way up the hill here. Here, the transition here got into the slide. That was a normal run. Which lap was it again? Yeah, this one. I corrected the slide, and then I still had to turn into the corner to get around, but that was oversteer. Yeah, and I didn't do the right inputs at the right time and just slid out into a slow spin. And binned it. Yoink. Okay, he apologized for the incident. It's all fine. Like, I thought I was taking the room away, and honestly, I didn't give much room. And I mean, it was expected that there was gonna be a cent for the end of this, right? Okay, so... yeah, it was definitely on the list of painful spins. I mean, not as bad. Oh yeah, right, I didn't save the replay for my second... racing Hungary ring. I saved only the replay from the first race. For some reason I forgot to save the second one. Don't ask me. I forgot. Probably because I was frustrated enough at that time. I was just too done with it. So, right. Right. So. Switch over, bring my screen back here. So, right, okay. Well, that was a relatively successful race considering this. This guy seems to just trying to murder me completely. So, the next race on the schedule is on Monday actually at 8 p.m. is the Extinction Level community event. Also Boonatix. Sadly, there's only like 15 people signed up today. There were 10 and 5 turned up. I think there might be a bit better turn up percentage, but yeah, that's not great. And then Monday night, late at night, more like Tuesday morning, that's when the GT3 Pro comes back. Round 5, Zandvoort. Will I finally have a good race that doesn't go completely to shits? I mean, the car works there, so what can possibly go wrong? Right? What can possibly go fucking wrong? Nothing could possibly go wrong. Nothing. This is obviously gonna go perfect, no issues whatsoever, nothing. Yeah. Also, the arms seem to be slightly botched. Whatever. Right. Okay. Well then, I would say I'm hopping off now. Well then, see you guys next time. Yeah, I think this race could have been quite cool, although, the issue is that probably if you had more cars, that people would be carrying the waterway quicker off the track. So there's that. Oh god, I'm noticing how badly the calibration on this is actually. Let me just briefly fix the calibration on my head. It's like, Jesus, it's completely wrong. Oh, I'm on normal mode. No wonder this is completely borked. I am tracking on normal mode. Oh my, that is bad. That was why this was borked. Right, okay. Well then, I need to move the camera probably down. Whoop. So. No wonder this is entirely looked slightly odd and off. Now I'm in a normal position. Brilliant. We all trust in the possibility of everything going right in that race. Yeah, the T-pose. Let me flex my powers. Oh well. Okay. That's that for this race. I will be back for more on Monday. Next week will be a bit busier, the weekend especially, because we will have VC on Saturday, and then the half-fast racing collaboration with Sim Racing 604, the Donington 2.4 hours. Actually, yeah, it's Donington again. I just noticed. That race is at Donington again. God damn it, I just drove this track. Oh well. Should I join the Jag? Nah, I've actually signed up with my boat again, so... I've signed up with the boat. I went for like a 2.4 hours a car that actually is half competitive. And I don't think the Jag will be competitive. So, we're going boat. Set the sails. We're gonna sink. Sinking my Titanic. Right. So then, I would say bye bye.